for immune system, but it's also good, very good for bones, for joints, and as I said, for cancer. Best for consumption, except the yellow part, is the roots of the dandelion, but be aware you take them out only in autumn. First, because then is the strongest in the roots goes all the ingredients necessary for curing, and second, because during the year the flower blossoms, seeds, multiplies, and then you can take the root out without disturbing the balance. Yes, this is blackberry. It's eatable, of course, you know it all. Very tasty, a little bit pricky. But the leaves of it, the fresh leaves in particular, can be used as aspirin with the acid to conserve the food, but also can be drinking in tea for women condition, for name in English agrimony, in Bulgarian kamšiče. For the poisoning, for purifying blood, and for the eyes, also tea. Yeah, I use it sometimes in ointments. I will take not the blossoming one, the other one. The blossoming will leave for the bees. We don't need it for the bouquet to be blossomed. Hearthorn, very good for the heart. Glock in Bulgarian. So it has healing powers when it blossoms in white. You can collect the white blossoms and make teas from them or decoctions. Or when it fruits, it makes small red fruits, quite hard, with a hard stone in the middle. What I do, I yesterday show you a jar with it. I cover it with alcohol, rakia in my case. It stays 40 days, you rinse it, and then you drink 20 drops of it. If you have chronic heart problems, high blood pressure, things like that, it's really magical about it. Do you recognize it?
Strawberry.
Yes, a wild strawberry in that case, forest strawberry as we call them, the small red ones, very aromatic. The leaves of it, before ripening the fruit, are very good for tea, again for women problems, for urine problems, all kind, also for men prostate problems. Generally, cleaning blood and very rich in vitamins, the leaves, not only the fruits. The fruits are, as you know, amazing, but the leaves are also very good for tea. If you don't know, now you know.
But before ripening?
Yes, before ripening, because then, you know, every plant when it ripes, it gives all its power and elements for the ripening. So most of the flowers and herbs should be picked up before having fruit or before blossoming. Very few are the exceptions, like this one or this, which... but then you pick only the flower, of course. And we will start with the most basic ingredients. First, there is the bee wax, which I will show you now. This is the bee wax. And we will discuss first the bee wax because it's, let's say, the most simple ingredient. The bee wax has a lot of qualities. First of it is creating a protective layer on the skin. So it also has a small quantity of antibacterial usage. First, in the bee hive, we put a frame like this, on top of which, this is the base, on top of which they build their houses, where they grow their babies and where they store their honey, and also pollen from the flowers. What I do with my bees, I have frames which are half the size of this one, like till here. And when you put it in the bee hive, you know, like this, bees, this is a specific of theirs, they cannot sustain an empty space. They just cannot live when there is something empty, a hole somewhere. They always have to fill it up. So when it's only a half a frame, they start building under the frame a half circle as big as the hive itself. You know, this is the size of the hive. You can see there where the hives are. This is the size of the hive. So when it's only a half, they build under it a half circle to fill this empty space. And this half circle they just built, I take out before they start filling it with honey or having babies in it, and I cut it and put it again, and they build it again behind. So this is the most pure, and it doesn't have the base of the petroleum product. Wow. So this is the most pure bee wax you can get when you produce it yourself. So then we continue with the, like I like to call it, the balanced way of using our planets, and we are going to speak about how to make the oil extract of the herbs. Olive oil and jojoba oil are the only two oils which are widely accepted by herbs and widely accepted by all types of skins, because some oils are quite heavy for some types of skins, some oils are allergic to some kind of skin. So I have discovered with my practice that olive oil is one of the best. And stays. I put it usually in, as I mentioned earlier, I follow the cycles of the moon because they are physically responsible for the movement of juices and minerals into the plants. So I put them in a full moon into the oil. It stays one full moon cycle, which is 28 days. I drain them, I take them out and drain them good. And the oil, the pure oil which is left, like, let me see, yeah, here I have one. This pure oil. I put in the same oil, the same quantity of the same herbs. Again, for one more moon cycle, altogether goes 50 days. 28 and 28, yeah, almost 60, let's say. And this makes it stronger. If you want it even stronger, you can make one more cycle, drain it, and again in the same oil, one more time. So the first extract from the four we are going to discuss today is an extract from red clovers, like this one, or like that one over there in the garden, but I'm showing here for the camera. This is a dry one. Yeah. Red clover is very good for regulating the hormonal levels, especially the estrogen levels. And it's very good not only for woman's skin, but all kind of diseases connected with the endocrine system. So when you have acne or these lumps which come because of your hormonal disbalance, yeah, all of them, this is a sign of hormonal disbalance. So for base oils, I like to use three main oils that come from the seeds of three different plants. First is the cacao plant. That is a very good antioxidant, also has a natural sun protection UV filter, which is about 4. The other oil which we have in here is shea oil, these big nuts. It's very rich oil, very good for regenerating of skin and improving elasticity of the cells and the blood vessels. And the third oil we have here is cocoa oil, which have also small sun protection UV filter. It's a little bit higher than the cacao, maybe it's 5. Lavender is very good for infections, to soothe the skin if you have any kind, because very often psoriasis or other kind of dermatitis are connected with itchiness, unpleasant one. So it's very good for soothing the skin. The next thing we use is one of the best flowers for any kind of ointment. Yeah. Because it has not only regenerative powers, it has antiseptic powers and, qualities. The next plant, which also has very good elasticity and regenerative powers, is the sage. It's important to pick it before starting blossoming because it changes its chemical ingredients, so it's good to be only the fresh leaves. It's good to be cut on small pieces as well. The cat paw for all kinds of bacteria, from the Escherichia coli to papillomaviruses and so on, not only bacteria but also viruses. Chamomile, as we know, it's one of the best antiseptics we can use. It's also very good for giving water into the skin, and very often this psoriasis or other redness of the skin is connected with dryness, not enough water into the cells of the skin, so chamomile is very good to soothe the skin. So as we spoke, salvia, she has a lot of qualities. We will see it in the other creams as well. It's also antiseptic, anti-allergic. It's very good for balancing the skin. When you have fat skin, it's making it more dry. When you have more dry, it it doesn't water it, but it gives a freshness to it. But it's very good for the elasticity of blood vessels and elasticity of cells. So it's very good. So ribwort, this is a ribwort. So if you have coughs, you put it in your tea and it kind of cleans your lungs. It take the liquid out. So here we have the basic oils.